Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we are going to look into a very new concept that is true cost economics. Before starting this video, many of you might be wondering what true cost economics is, but I want to tell you that this is not something which is very much new to the arena of economics. When we discuss this topic, you will be able to understand that this concept is something which has a huge relationship with what we already know. And what is that? Just answer that by listening to the audio and viewing this video. So let's go to the video. True cost economics. It's actually an economic model, and it is something which is related to the arena of externalities. And what is externality? We have seen externality concept in detail in several of our videos, so I don't want to get into the details, but I'll be giving you a glimpse of what externality is all about. We know that when we go and purchase a commodity, we pay price for that particular commodity, right? But there are certain things which are not covered by market. And for example, there are certain costs and there are certain benefits which are not captured in terms of price or in terms of money. These things are not reflected in terms of money. So what are these? We know pollution, we know the scenic beauty given by nature. So there are several things. We know what Pigouvian tax is and what is it for. Pigouvian subsidies, we know the concept and what is it for. It's for, and we have already seen what Cosin theorem. So all these things are related to externalities concept. So there will be two parties. One party would be causing a harm or a benefit on the other party, and the harm or benefit which is caused by the first party to the second party cannot be priced, and this is externality. And this extra cost or benefit cannot is something which is not under the ambit of the market, or this is not under the capture of the market to deal with or to price it. So true cost economics is actually a model which deals with negative externalities, to be very specific. So we know what negative externality is. So these things are something which mostly comes in the form of what to say, pollution, then problems caused by smokers on passive smokers, all these kinds of things. So uh, when economists they proposed this model, they felt that there are certain products and there are certain activities which would be causing harm on people, or harm on producers, or harm on economic agents. So this harm could be caused, either it could be direct harm or it could be indirect harm. So anyway, there would be harm. Okay. And the consequences upon living beings as well as on the environment as a result of this harm is something which is not under the capture of market. And as per Pigu, this thing is something which is need to be taxed, right? So this taxation is very much important to make the hidden cost come out of what to say. So it is something that is hidden now and should be made to come out, right? So as a result, it should be even in order to make that visible, we have to capture this harm. And one of the important what to say solution offered by PIGU is taxation. So as a result, we treat that as Piguvian tax. So let's deal with the true cost economics in detail. So this is something which is mainly applicable to the arena of production of commodities. We know that what a new concept that called corporate social responsibility. That means that, and this is something which is applicable to the production arena. When a company produces or when a factory produces a commodity, it actually incurs some cost upon the society, and as a result, the company has some responsibility over the society. It will be causing pollution, or it would be harming the land of some people. It will be capturing the water bodies which is used by some other people in the downstream or something. So as a result, it incurs some cost in order to deal with corporate social responsibility. Uh, and we have to see that this corporate social responsibility should be taken by each and every company or each and every factory that is done in each and every part of the world. And this is not only with respect to India. We have to see that corporate social responsibility works well in almost all the countries with respect to almost all the factories. So and this is one of the important steps taken by the governments of all the countries to deal with negative externalities. So we know that how this negative externality comes, or what will happen when a negative externality comes. We have to see that when there is a negative externality, your social cost, it would be more than your uh, private cost, right? Even though the private benefit is more than your the social benefit, here you have to view the point in terms of cost, because we are dealing with negative externalities. So here the societal cost is very much more than the private cost. So the concept is actually very much useful when we deal with environmental economics. And not only with respect to environmental economy, we can see that this could be applicable in terms of microeconomics when we deal with markets, when we deal with production, when we deal with all these kinds of things. But mostly environmental economics use the concept negative externality and positive externality. So let's go to the details of true cost economics. Let's come back to the topic. So the concept, when it was put forth into the domain of economics, so this is something which came as a result of the person need to consider the ethical viewpoints. So the economists thought that there is very much important to look into the ethical consideration in the neoclassical economic theory. So as a result, they went for computing the societal cost of producing a product, or societal cost of rendering a service. And they could understand that the societal cost is something which is very much difficult to capture in terms of price. For example, consider the extra burden to the taxpayers or consumers or the government when the government is providing health care for smokers. We know that even though the cigarette packets that smokers buy has something written on it like smoking is injurious to health, the buyers of this cigarette, they don't care about it. And the companies which provide or which produce and distribute the cigarette packets in the market, they don't care about the health or health hazard or health harm coming to the people who are smoking. And you have to see that it is not only the smokers or the active smokers who will get affected by smoking. Also the passive smokers, the people who are not consuming cigarettes, they too will be affected by smoking by the people who are smoking nearby these people, right? So all these things are not a cost to the company which produces cigarettes. So when the price of something fails to reflect all the total costs associated with the production of these kinds of things, so you have to see that other health cost or the health cost incurred by the smoker as a result of consuming cigarette is actually something that is not captured, that is not captured in terms of price, or it is not captured in terms of burden to the company that is producing the cigarette, right? So that means that or when there is a third party like a passive smoker, he is actually not paying for cigarette, but he is getting the harm as a result of cigarette smoking by some people who is nearby, who is standing nearby to him or her. So all these things are not and the cost of these things are not incurred by the company which is producing cigarettes. So as a result, we have to take all these things into consideration to compute for what is known as the societal cost. So here comes the role of the Pigouvian concept of taxation in order to internalize the negative externality, right? So just go for an example how to internalize negative externalities and all. Just take the example of a government thing, an example of government regulating the amount of pollution a company is to allow, a company is creating, and here you have to see that negative externalities could be taxed, it should be taxed, that's it. But how can we know that, how can we understand the optimum level of taxation? And here too we have to question, how can we tax a company? It will be producing the amount of emissions. If a company is producing some kind of emissions in the environment, creating pollution in the environment, then how can we tax a company by telling that you have to create, you have to pay this much amount of taxation? And when the government is telling that, you have to make it sure that it is not harming the company. At the same time, it should make it sure that it is not harming the society. And just deal with the cigarette company. When you tax the cigarette company, when the government is taxing the cigarette company, the government has to make it sure that it is not harming the society, at the same time it is not harming the company, right? So that is what is meant by the optimum level of taxation, when it is not harming anyone, but at the same time it is optimum. It is you are not telling the company to close down, you are not telling the smoker not to buy the cigarette packet and you consume that, and not to consume that, right? But at the same time, you are letting the company to function, you are letting the smoker to smoke. At the same time, you are keeping something at optimum, and this is very much important. And here comes the role of calculation of taxation. Pigouvian taxation is definitely an important concept, but calculating the optimum amount of taxation, especially when you have tax evasion kinds of things happening around the world, you this is a very important thing that you have to give importance to. Now, come back to true cost economics, how it is affecting the consumers. For consumers, actually, the true cost of many goods and services which they could afford right now, and this can cause some kind of externalities, right? For example, if environmental cost of extracting and refining rare earth elements, which are very much important and essential for many modern electrical products, are factored into the price, it might push that price to an unreachable sum. So you have to see that, especially when we are going for sustainable development, when we are going for renewable energy kinds of things, and when we are trying to preserve our environment, when we are seeing that there are many environmental problems like climate change, ozone layer depletion, greenhouse gas effect, and what not, we could see that natural hazards are coming in many forms, like earthquakes, landslides, and whatnot. And in this scenario, we have to see that we have to preserve our environment. We should make it sure that our industries are not harming our environment, and our development is not at the cost of our environment. So in this case, true cost economics is actually gaining its importance. So that's all for today. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And you can be a part of my Telegram channel and Telegram group. I'll be providing the links of all these things in the description box. You can be there and you can discuss your doubt there. I'm happy to announce that many people are now in the group, and many have expressed their concerns there. Many could clarify their doubts there after making their discussions. So you can be a part of the group, as well as you can be a part of the channel as well by clicking the subscription button. So I don't want to make the video long. I just wanted the video to be very short, but I don't know I had made it long or not. Anyway, thank you for watching. We can see in the next video. That's all for today. Thank you.